Hello students, let us learn the second poem of your English textbook Honeycomb today. The name of the poem is The Rebel by Dennis Joseph Enright. D.J. Enright is a British poet, essayist, novelist and a critic. He was born on 11th March 1920 and died on 31st December 2002. Before we proceed, let us talk about the title of the poem, The Rebel. Who is a rebel? Rebel is a person who contradicts others in order to be different. He is a person who does not like rules or authority and shows this by behaving differently from most people in society. A rebel is a person who has his own opinion and he follows it strictly, ignoring the opinion of other people. You might have seen such people who always disagree with everyone. They prefer to do opposite of what everyone thinks they should do. Talking about this poem, The Rebel, it is a very simple poem. There is no difficult words or terms in this poem. It is very easy to understand. And this poem talks about the characteristics of a rebel. The poet explains how a rebel behaves in a society. Let us learn the poem in detail. The Rebel by D.J. Enright. As I told you, this is a simple and humorous poem which makes fun of rebels. In this poem, D.J. Enright has drawn a picture of a rebel. The rebel is a part of society who wishes to look different from others. The rebel is called so because he always acts against the established values and set traditions in a society. The rebels will be absolutely against all these values and traditions in a society. The rebel opposes the opinion of the majority and he wants to assert his own opinion. He wants to declare his own opinion. His rebellious behavior is different from others. Anyhow, the poet favors the rebels and says that his presence is good for us. The poet ridicules or makes fun of the silly behavior of the rebels in the poem The Rebel. Let us learn the poem in detail, stanza-wise. Let's see the first stanza. When everybody has short hair, the rebel lets his hair grow long. When everybody has long hair, the rebel cuts his hair short. In this opening stanza of the poem, the poet describes the humorous and funny behavior of the rebel. The rebel always goes against the set rules and regulations of society. He acts opposed to whatever common people they do. When all the people have short hair, the rebel grows his hair long. But when others keep long hair, the rebel keeps short hair. Actually, he tries to maintain his own individuality from his personal likings and dislikings. He just does everything against what the common people they do. Let us see the second stanza. When everybody talks during the lesson, the rebel doesn't say a word. When nobody talks during the lesson, the rebel creates a disturbance. In these lines, the poet describes the typical behavior of a rebel. The manners of the rebel are different in the classroom from other students in the class. When all the students talk and discuss during the lesson, the rebel keeps quiet. He keeps his mouth shut. But when others are silent and listen attentively in the class, the rebel starts talking and creates a disturbance in the class. You might have seen a number of your friends in that way. In this way, he tries to establish his individuality. When everybody wears a uniform, the rebel dresses fantastic clothes. When everybody wears fantastic clothes, the rebel dresses soberly. In these lines, the poet presents the behavior of an adolescent rebel. He disagrees with others only to show himself prominent or important. When every other person puts on a serious type of uniform, the rebel does not copy them. At that moment, he puts on fantasy clothes or colorful clothes. When every person puts on a fantastic or colorful clothes, the rebel does not follow them. What does he do? Then he puts on a serious type of cloth and he disagrees with others. These type of rebels are found everywhere in a society, and among you also there are such rebels. Now let us see the fourth stanza. In the company of dog lovers, the rebel expresses a preference for cats. In the company of cat lovers, the rebel puts in a good word for dogs. In this stanza, the poet tells us about a person who is called a rebel by the society. For his different manners and nature, the rebel has to show his individuality in every company. When he is in the company of dog lovers, the people who love dogs, He tries to speak in favor of cats. He says that, no, I don't like these dogs. I like only cats, he says that. Because there he wants to become different. So in this way, he tries to become different in every way, in every situation. That's why he is called a rebel. When he is among the cat lovers, what does he do? He just becomes just opposed to those people, those who love cats. He says, I don't like these cats. I like only dogs. They are faithful. He will be coming up with a lot of excuses and reasons for him to become a dog lover at that moment. So in this way, the rebel always adopts the opposite way of life than the other people because he has to show himself different from other people. That's why he is called as a rebel by the entire society. Look at the 5th stanza. When everybody is praising the sun, the rebel remarks on the need for rain. When everybody is greeting the rain, the rebel regrets the absence of the sun. In these lines, the poet tells us about another quality of the behavior of rebel. He always goes against the current of public opinion as well as the public behavior. If everybody is praising the sun, the rebel starts praising the rain and begins his remarks about the need for rain. On the other hand, if it is raining and people are happy with the rain, then he will start praising the sun and say that there was a need for the sunshine at that time. Actually, he likes neither the sun nor the rain, but he makes these opposite remarks to go against the public opinion, against the opinion of everyone who is standing around him, because he wants to be different from other people. That's why he makes this type of remarks. Look at this 6th stanza. When everybody goes to the meeting, the rebel stays at home and reads a book. When everybody stays at home and reads a book, the rebel goes to the meeting. In these lines, the poet describes the nature of a rebel. A rebel is a young man who acts against social values and traditions. When people go to attend a meeting, the rebel stays at home and reads a book. And he shows no interest in going out and being a part of the meeting. Instead, he stays back home to be different from the people, those who go for meeting. But when others stay at home to read books, what does he do? He goes out to attend a meeting. In this way, he tries to keep himself away from other people and he tries to keep himself different from other people who are around him. Now look at this 7th stanza. When everybody says, yes please, the rebel says, no thank you. When everybody says, no thank you, the rebel says, yes please. The rebel always opposes the opinion of the majority and asserts his own or declares his own opinion. When all the people accept an offer saying, yes please, what does the rebel say? He says, no, thank you. But when others reject an offer, then he accepts that readily. Whatever he does it to oppose it what other people they do. This eccentric attitude of the rebel makes him an unwanted personality in a society. People will not like the ones who oppose everything. They want people to accept something. So such people will be appreciated and liked by most people in the society. And rebels will always be such group of people who are not that welcome in a society. Look at this last stanza. Let us see what is the opinion of the poet of rebels. It is very good that we have rebels. You may not find it very good to be one. When the poet concludes his poem, he advises us not to become a rebel. He says, you may not find it very good to be one. A rebel is always a target of criticism. People call him insane, antisocial, anti-tradition, psycho case, mad. A number of adjectives are used on him. Or people they use a number of words to talk about him. Those words are not good ones. So nobody likes a rebel. So poet advises that we should not become a rebel because it's not good to be one. But the poet says that it is very good that we have rebels. In fact, he tells us to accept the rebels in a society for a number of reasons. Firstly, the rebels provide a spice of variety in our dull and monotonous life. When everyone does things in the same way, a rebel makes a difference. So our boring life will be made a little more brighter or enjoyable. Secondly, he brings changes in a society. How he could bring changes in a society? Because people will think about what they do second time when they hear the opinion of the rebels. So there may be something that those people who are doing something can adopt something from these rebels. So the rebels may be the ones to bring changes in the society by making some difference of thought in the minds of people. And lastly, a rebel is a harmless person who wants to bring a change silently and peacefully. Therefore, no one will like to be a rebel. But reading between the lines, we learn that it is not a child's play to oppose the opinion of the majority. It is not an easy task to oppose the opinion of the majority people. Only a brave person has the guts or courage to do so. Hence, a rebel is a brave person because he opposes the opinion of the majority. He is not an ordinary person, but a brave person who can become a rebel. If anyone considers himself brave and has the guts to face difficulties, he is valid for becoming a rebel. But don't think that becoming a rebel is an easy task and is a good thing to become a rebel. Of course, we will have the guts to question people when they go wrong. But that should not be opposing anything and everything that you see. If you find there is something to be opposed, oppose that bravely. Have the guts and courage for that. And if you find it is something agreeable, agree with that. Only for the sake of opposing, don't oppose anyone. As I told in the beginning, it's a very simple poem. The poet used very simple words in this, so it is easy to understand. Still, there are some poetic devices used in this poem. Since the poem doesn't have a specific rhyme scheme, it's a blank verse. And the other poetic device used in the poem is alliteration. Alliteration is the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of adjacent or closely connected words. Some examples in the poem are rebel regrets, that R sound, then rebel remarks, the R sound again. These are examples of alliteration in the poem. And the other poetic device used in the poem is repetition. That's all the poem and its details. Now watch the video again and read the poem in your textbook. At the end of the poem, you are given some questions. Answer all those questions and send those answers to my WhatsApp number before 5 o'clock today. Thank you for watching.